Everyone, welcome to my show. I'm messing with Instagram here, so I have no idea what is happening. Hey everybody, this is Laura DiCarlo of Career Directors International, and we're talking all things ultimate success without the stress for resume writers and career coaches. I am super excited to be here with you today, and as you can probably hear in the background, the moaning and groaning, my cat Tallulah is also very excited to hear you and see you. So I do apologize, but she will be entertaining us as we move forward here today. Listen, we are currently streaming on our CDI Facebook group, our LinkedIn page, our YouTube channel, and possibly on Instagram. It's given me all kinds of messages on our very first ever live stream, so I have no idea whether my head is cut off or what might be happening. But this is really important. If you are coming in through Facebook, as you can see here at the bottom of my screen, you need to give Restream permission to show me your name in the chat. So simply go to the URL chat.restream.io/FB, that's chat.restream.io/FB, and it will give you the chance to give me permission. If you don't do that, I won't know who I'm talking to, and I very much want to get to know my guests. It makes this a lot less lonely and more fun. So this is our regular Wednesday show where I will be empowering resume writers and career coaches to up their game with advanced technical skills, business shortcuts, and strategies to succeed with ease. This season, we focused on learning what's working and what's not in career industry businesses today by tapping into the results of CDI's recent critical industry analysis survey. And hey, if you don't know me yet, my goal is to become your not so secret superpower. At Career Directors International, we provide all the tools, scripts, done for you resources, training, certification, and support you need to love and excel at what you do so you can make a difference while earning an exceptional living. So today's topic is how resume writers and career coaches can leverage holiday downtime to win big in 2024. But before we get into that, I want to challenge you to do 3 things. First off, in the chat, let me know who you are. If you're here with me, you can give me a hashtag newbie if this is the first time you're watching my show and you're not part of CDI or our Facebook community. If you're one of my members or group members, give me a hashtag soups for career superhero. All right, nothing in the chat yet. I will keep checking as we go. Second, if you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat at any time. I am monitoring that, and I look forward to engaging with you as we go forward. And third and finally, if you like my show and want to make sure you don't miss out on tips, trends, and strategies for career professionals, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss when we go live every week. That's 3:45 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And of course, now that I've said that, I need to add the fact that we're actually taking a break next week for the holiday, but I will be telling you at the end what we're cooking up great and awesome for the first week of January. So you've got the idea on the topic, how resume writers and career coaches can leverage downtime with the holidays. I'm going to take that caption down and go ahead and get into it. Oh, actually, I see I'm missing my lovely page layout here. I thought something seemed weird. Okay, that was down because last week I had all the amazing career superheroes joining me, and I never noticed that was what was different today. Okay, So far this season, I've provided you with a ton of ideas around the top 3 marketing strategies that resume writers and career coaches are using to build their businesses, where AI is an issue and where it's not. And as a reminder, the only place that's an issue is where your prices are really low. And so you kind of look comparable to a DIY, and anybody who's DIY is going to flock to the free stuff first. And then last week we talked, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, last week, I don't even know. Sorry, I guess I'm already in insane holiday mode. We talked about how to bust imposter syndrome. So lots of great stuff. And today I'm excited because this topic, for most entrepreneurs, business can exist in the state of a flat out run. You're often so incredibly busy or stressed if you're not busy that there's little time for reflection, celebration, analysis, adjustment, or planning. When I was running a private practice as a resume writer and a career coach, I looked forward to December to provide a well-earned break. And that might be your plan too. And that's great as long as you don't just hit the ground running again come January. I've got lots of ideas coming your way today, as if you're considering what to do with any downtime in December. But please do not guilt yourself into working if you already blocked needed time off. It is so natural to take time off this time of year because people expect away messages and delays. Just please promise me you'll go into your calendar today and dedicate a few days in January for business caretaking if you're not going to do it now. So guests, anyone who's here with me following in, I was going to say following in the chat, let me know what your current plans are. Are you taking off 1 week, 2 weeks, working part-time, full-time? Anything exciting that's going on coming up? Let me know. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and dig in. Now, unlike prior weeks where we talked about one subject in depth, I'm going to somewhat ride the surface here today so I can cover a lot of ground. I'm actually going to talk about 10 different options you might explore, not expecting you to do them all, but wanting you to have options. So if you're a CDI member, I will be pointing to a ton of supporting resources with the replay. So if you want to deep dive into a topic like a script, template, calendar, strategy, and a few of those are open to non-members as well. So, be sure to visit our website for the replay. I will be posting on social with a link to that tomorrow. Further, for members, be sure to watch your inbox for that new member nurture series that started yesterday. If you haven't found time for the mini tour or the fast action interactive PDF or the 90-day plan or the live orientation or the 90-day quick start course, yeah, we're really trying to help you get access to all your benefits. We're now also dropping bite-sized pieces in your inbox every few days. We want you to get access to all those golden resources because more often than not, somebody asks for something in the Facebook community and we're like, we got that. So, all right, 10 opportunities. Okay, I see a LinkedIn user. I'm on LinkedIn. All right, awesome. For some reason, it's not letting me see your name. So if you want to drop your name in the chat, my LinkedIn user, I will love to know who I'm talking to. Okay, number 1, spend some time taking stock of your wins and learning lessons from the past year. This is the thing that so easily gets glossed over. And I strongly suggest spending a little time making a list of what you've accomplished this year, both big and small, as well as looking at what needs to change, those lessons learned. First off, it's important that you stop and smell the roses. Too often we're so busy checking things off the list that we're just not taking time to relish in what we've achieved. And that's a really quick way to burn yourself out and feel frustrated. So give yourself time to list them down, reflect on them, celebrate them, recognize what they've added to your skill set, your business growth, and the job seekers that you serve. And don't shy away from the mistakes, as they are the opportunity to see what didn't work. And then flip the script and see them as a learning lesson. I was speaking, for example, to a private client a few weeks ago, and she was sharing about having a 50% close rate and thinking, oh, I need to get more prospects. And I pointed out that it's not about getting more prospects in the door. It's about closing the prospects you have. And then I guided her back to the strategy to refine her consultation, since we hear from our CDI members using our script and practice that they're closing up to 95% of their prospects that way. In short, you just don't want to be leaving money on the table, wasting time on an effective consult process or not selling services because they're out of date or you're not pitching them. So that's just one example of something you might pick up on if you spend some time here on your business. You deserve it. So this will help you reap great rewards in 2024 with having that history. Hey, it's just what we tell our job-seeking clients to do, right? They need to keep a record, and we need to pull those details out of them so they can pat themselves on the back. You might need that information for a contract or to update your website, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Listen, CDI members, watch for when we post our next member-included Business Accelerator and Accountability event, as that one always goes deep into celebrating wins and setting yourself up for success across the next 30 days. It's a really great plan you can use over and over again. So please don't skip this one. If you do nothing else this year, spend some time looking at wins and learning lessons. All right, for my followers today in the chat, why don't you let me know about one of your wins or lessons learned from 2023? Or if you're not comfortable doing that, just let me know that, yes, I'm going to look at those. All right, number 2, ensure your brand is consistent on all platforms. So often we kind of get into a, oh, I updated over there, or I changed my voice here. This is a great time to make sure you're taking advantage of having a consistent brand, that you're using all of the LinkedIn features that they've updated and added in the last year, that you've added certification logos you've earned or membership logos on LinkedIn, on your website, to your email signature. There's value that you have created through what you have done in the past year, and you want to make sure that it's showing up there. And you want to make sure that it's current to who you want to talk to today and how you want to talk to them. And CDI members, while you're at it, be sure to check your public member profile. We give you lots of tools to stand out to make sure you're taking advantage of those. Because when a job seeker is searching, you want to show up as your best self. You want them to be able to find you with all your social links and whatnot. So in my mind, this whole topic is pretty cut and dried. But just remember, you're evolving. We're all constantly evolving. So you want to be in your authentic voice today. And that is images, could be your LinkedIn banner. There are so many things that you might want to address and make sure it is who you want to show up as to your prospects and clients in 2024. So chat's kind of quiet, but what other ideas might you add here? Let me know in the chat. Moving on to number 3, leverage your prospect lists or get a list started. I have to remember that not everybody has a list here. So the first topic is having a great and up-to-date lead magnet, or initial free offer is what it's sometimes called. This gets prospects onto your list and moves them from cold to warm to ready to buy through your nurturing. Most immediately think of their website when it comes to a lead magnet. And I understand that might not be your first engagement point any longer. Many times I hear we're getting the majority of our clients, say, from LinkedIn or a partnership or whatnot. But even if LinkedIn is where you're at, you can and you should have a lead magnet in your about section. Usually it's at the end. It shows up something like you're saying, take my quiz or get my this. And again, it needs to be something that gets somebody excited enough they're going to be willing to leave LinkedIn and go to your website or wherever you have it. And then the second piece is often Need help immediately? DM me. Okay, I got a Facebook user saying, hi, Laura. Remember, you can go to, what is the URL? I don't even know now. Let me take a peek here. chat.restream.io/Facebook, chat.restream.io/FB. Sorry. You can go there and give Restream permission to let me see your name on Facebook. Otherwise, please let me know who my Facebook person is and my LinkedIn person. I haven't heard from you yet either. So, okay, let's see if I can find where I was here talking. Okay, so I was giving you an example of putting it in your profile because you want somebody to take action, and better yet, if you can get them on the list. So it's important that it's modern, enticing, juicy. So check that it doesn't need to be updated or replaced. And if you're still using the, sign up for my newsletter, it's probably not cutting it. I would imagine that unless you have a really huge presence on social media or some really great other thing that's driving them, you're probably not getting many people signing up to your list anymore. Now, if you don't have a lead magnet, CDI members, you have access to a lesson on this, as well as the Job Seeker Done For You tip sheets that you can download, personalize, white label, and sell or give away. We do have members who are using this as a lead magnet. And if you're one of them who's using one of these tip sheets as a lead magnet, definitely let me know in the chat. Now, if you already have a list, another great use of downtime here is to create a nurture series for that list. A lot of times we get into collecting names, or we have like a few intro, here's the thing you requested, let me know if I can help you. And we get so busy that we are sporadically thinking about connecting with our list. But you really want to have an engagement series. Like we just started a new one for CDI members. It's 25 emails deep and runs for 4 months. Now, are you going to have 25 emails in an autoresponder series? Not necessarily. We've got a whole lot of things going on over here that we're trying to make sure members are aware of. But some people they're going to join your list because they're not ready to buy. Oh, I read something that she wrote and it impressed me and I'm frustrated in my job and I might want to look 6 months from now. Your goal with this is to move somebody from cold, knows nothing about you except, a referral or reading something you wrote, and get them excited to buy from you. So it's a great idea to have a series. And that is really where you provide education and empowerment through storytelling, tips, advice, and sharing of client success stories. You can and should have a CTA or, wow, my brain just went blank, but basically a call to action for a free consult at the end of each of those. And you can sprinkle offers throughout. Just make sure you're giving more than you're selling as you're trying to escalate someone. And members, make sure you check out the replay of the live event I hosted on making special offers for Cyber Week, because there's some great information in there. Again, I'll link to that. All right, so let me know in the chat who has a great lead magnet or who's going to add one as a call to action on their LinkedIn profile now that I mentioned it. I always love to know, who's using one of CDI's tip sheets for their lead magnet. Let me know about your lead magnet. I want to know, what's your lead magnet? All right, number 4, reach out to former clients. So this time of year is the perfect time to start a nurture series for former clients as well. I was talking about prospects before, but you can start a nurture series for your clients. You can say thank you for their business. You can wish them happy holidays. You can make an offer. Don't forget that we shared that the number one way that your colleagues stated they were marketing and growing their businesses in 2023 was through client referral. So you can't get those if you're not staying in front of your clients. And I believe I shared how your best intentions they can still lose track of you. So getting in front of them, this is a perfect time of year to have a reason to do so. What I used to do was a holiday newsletter. Again, thanking them, providing some tips and motivation and advice at the holidays for job search and for the new year. And I would also offer them 10% off of resume updates for existing clients in the month of January. It was always a great way to get the calendar cooking at the beginning of the year. So let this be the time to follow up, say thank you, and stay on their minds for future connections and referrals. Also, don't be afraid to remind your list that the lifeblood of your business is referrals. It is so crucial. And again, we have some member and we have non-member resources for customer referrals, which I will link to with the replay. Finally, on this topic of past clients, don't forget about asking for success stories. And please be sure you're collecting testimonials at the right time. Not when the client is excited about your service, but has no results to share. That's way too early. You want referrals that are rich in metrics, the same way your resumes are. That's what's going to get prospects excited to hire you and have them be pre-sold. So you might use your downtime for looking at LinkedIn profiles of anyone who was happy with your service at the time but didn't have results yet. Check and see. Did they land very quickly? You can make that an addendum to their testimonial while you're reaching out to congratulate them and asking them for a new detailed review. Now, I recommend asking for a LinkedIn testimonial because once it's there, anyone can see it. And you can also, public domain, you can now add it to your own website as well. So update what you've got or spend time now revamping your client tracking strategy and testimonial ask process. And again, CDI members have access to a job seeker tracking template, and we do have a video tip on the subject on our free stuff page for non-members as well. So why don't you guys tell me in the chat? Let me know what you do for client outreach, especially as it relates to this time of year. All right, I see another Facebook user saying, hi, Laura. Again, I can't see your name without the permissions. The URL is there on the bottom of my screen. I would love it if you gave it permission so I could see who I'm talking to, or just drop your name every time you comment so I know. All right, we are almost halfway there. We're going to number 5 of 10. So number 5 is follow up with prospects who had to think about it. So we have all had it happen. You do a great consult, you provide the quote, and then the client has to think about it. Hopefully you use my strategy for getting them booked into a mini session. There's a video tip on that, free to everyone on the CDI website. But if you didn't, or they just were like, no, let me just get back to you, it's common that they disappear. And even if you send a couple emails, you're probably getting crickets. So it's easy to write them off. When we did the survey earlier this year of career industry professionals, it was interesting how many people only followed up one time or not at all. But the reality is that in a lot of cases, you could do, my husband said, I used to make it rain. And I am not a salesperson. If you know me well, you know that I am not a salesperson. But when my private practice would slow down, I needed to, well, make it rain, I guess. So I would pick up the phone, no, not send an email, and I would reach out to anyone who had to think about it in the past 6 months. If I got their voicemail, I'd say, hi, Jim, this is Laura DiCarlo of A Competitive Edge Career Service. We met a few months ago to discuss your resume and your job search strategy. So I was just checking in to see if you were still needing assistance. Hopefully you've already landed, but if we can get you on the right track and expedite this process, please call me and let me know. And I'd give my phone number, my email, whatever. Anyway, if someone is still looking, this can be an eye opener for them. And I've pulled back in the day that I was working with job seekers, many a client who I guess I hadn't successfully convinced them to make the investment despite my, great consult strategy and my winning resume samples and my metrics driven testimonials. They still thought doing it themselves was good, or going with a less qualified provider that costs less money. So coming in some point, 6 weeks, 6 months, if they're still looking, this is going to make them do a double take. So don't be afraid to pick up that phone and potentially get some, people back on the books for January, or if you're still working this year. So in the chat, who here has a good track record of converting prospects who had to think about it, or who is going to try this now? Let me know in the chat. Okay, number 6. It's a good time to review your prices, packages, and consultation strategy. Listen, there is nothing worse than leaving money on the table from necessary services not pitched, packages and pricing not optimized, and sales that didn't close. So very early in my career, I knew I was not a salesperson. I know I said that already, but just literally, believe it or not, a shy, introverted person. So I came up with a 3-step education and show and tell strategy that just crushes any do-it-yourself belief in the job seeker, helps them see they need a complete solution, and makes them eager to pay even in the 4-figure range. Hey, I've got people using it in the 5-figure range. So I was doing it in the late 90s, and I was closing 94 to 97% of my consults to clients at all levels with 4-figure packages. And since then, I have amassed on CDI so many testimonials from members and private clients around the fact that they're able to triple their income, have $20,000 weeks, have their best month ever while taking a 2-week vacation. We even have one testimonial where the person says it was like she was giving away gold. He couldn't get his credit card out fast enough while driving, when that used to be an excuse not to pay. And she had doubled the price over what she had charged. So, non-members do have access to a version of this, and members have the complete strategy. Please, if you figure anything out this season, it's making sure that this is in line and you're not leaving money on the table. So members, remember, you can add the Done For You job seeker tip sheets to your packages. I have done sessions where I have talked to everyone about how to create that knowledge you're consistently giving away to every client and turn those into tip sheets, checklists, and whatnot. Your knowledge has value, so it can become part of your package. So take a look at what you're doing. Spend some time, if not this month, then absolutely at the beginning of the year, something you should be doing every year. Is it time to raise prices? Is it time to change your packaging process? Or please, if you don't have packages, I'm begging you to consider a 3-package system. Yes, even if you only do the writing side of things, you can have 3 to make that middle one the just right solution. There's some video tips on this and some deep dive lessons for members. The video tips are open to everyone. So anytime I say video tips, it's for everyone. I apologize. I know I'm talking a little fast today. I feel like having 10 things I was excited to share is a lot. So I'm trying to make sure I get it all in. So really important. Please be sure you take a look at your pricing, packaging, and your sales strategy. All right, the chat is dry as a bone here, but let me know if you're using CDI's consultation strategy. If not, if you are, in either case, let me know if you're going to look at your prices and packages and make some adjustments. Remember, inflation, everything goes up. and you're adding the value that helps job seekers afford those with their raises and promotions. So you need to be compensated as well. All right, number 7, make a plan for enhancing visibility and engagement. So we've talked about prospect lists and former client nurturing, but there's a lot you can do to attract new prospects to you as well. This could include using the time you have now to plan out your content for the next year. CDI members have access to a content calendar, and the AI bonus prompt I'm going to share with the replay will also help you generate a lot of great ideas. But it will make your life so much easier if you pick a monthly overarching topic, like getting started in the new year for career management, promotion, or job search. It depends on, your focus and slant. Another example, May is Update Your References Week is the first full week of May. That's a CDI register. We registered the event, but anyone can participate in it. Stressing and recommending updating references, and there are some great free resources on the CDI website on that. June could be for new grads, or maybe you start earlier before they graduate because you also want to push, gift certificates for parents for new grads. September is Update Your Resume Month. So you could talk about resume tips and strategies, try to be guests on somebody's podcast. Do your own, well, if you're doing a podcast, obviously, it can be talking about resumes as your topics. December for holiday job search, etc. You can also have a daily theme, like one day you share a video, one day is a motivational quote, one day is a success story. The easier you make your life of having segments, honestly, the better it is, because you're not like, oh, what am I going to write about today? And, oh, I have to fill all those characters. Mix it up. People have different learning styles, different engagement styles. So it's very valuable to theme and have days when it works for you. That's the beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur. You get to do whatever you want. So I go into a lot of this on one of the replays of this show. I did one a couple weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago on LinkedIn posting. So again, I'll link to that. But if you go back on whatever channel you're on, you should be able to find a link to it as well. And for my CDI members in the engagement area, remember, you can complete a certification that's been on hold till you had time. You could use time to select resumes for the 2024 Tories, or to get your product or program that you're hoping to enter in the Career Innovator Awards. That only happens every 2 years, but 2024 is one year for it. There's also guest blogging in our job seeker blog, and getting your book listed in our job seeker resources section, both of which are included in membership. So whatever you do, planning social or blogging or podcasting strategy in advance will make your life so much easier and ensure you don't skip leveraging this valuable visibility engine. When you get into projects, it's so easy to skip the marketing. If you plan now, maybe use AI to help you generate some content ideas and pre-schedule content or batch create content, then it won't be nipping at your heels when you get really busy with clients in the year. So what might you plan to do in terms of your visibility and engagement plan for 2024? Let me know if an idea resonates with you that I talked about, or if you have something else you plan to do. Let me know in the chat. All right, and we've still got silence in the chat. This is so odd to not know who I'm talking to and not have conversations going. But I get it is just days before a holiday. But I didn't want to cut out 2 shows. All right, number 8. And we're creeping towards that 10. Use time towards completing a project, product, program, book, whatever you've left hanging. So whatever that is that has been sitting there, it's so important that you move towards it. At one point, I had a client, she'd wanted to write a book for a long time, and I don't even think it was related to the industry, but it was just really weighing on her that she didn't have the time. And in her case, we had to literally look at her 7-day a week schedule around being a single parent with kids and having a very busy private practice on where could she actually work on the book. So we gridded out 15-minute segments across the 7-day period, and we found a nice 3-hour block on Sunday morning. And I checked in with her. I'm like, is this what you want to be doing on a Sunday? Because it's not, I'd have to be really excited to do it on a Sunday. And she was super excited about it. But you don't have to necessarily have a 3-hour block. You have to understand, though, that nothing ever gets done unless we take action. So even if the only action you take is to put on your calendar some time where you're going to make a list of the things that need to take place, or you're going to go into your calendar and you're going to block sections of time. Look, we all function differently on how we're going to accomplish things, but getting started, making a list of the who, what, when, where, how, and why is going to move you forward. And only you can decide. I mean, if we were working together one-on-one, I would definitely figure out what your style is and what you need. You could be like my one client who had the 3-hour blocks. And then we actually did end up having to look for her schedule because she kept having emergencies that pushed that block out. We had to create a second block, which, excuse my language, we call the oh shit block, making sure that there was always a cushion so that she could get that thing done and didn't keep losing it to the emergencies. In my case, I put off my book for a really long time. That was the Certified Employment Interview Consultant course is what it became. And then I was so blessed to read a book by Barbara Sher called I Could Do Anything If I Only Knew What It Was. And that was back in my 20s. I'm 54 now. I think I'm 54. Yeah, for a few more months. And in that book, she talked about all the ways we could get started on our dream. And I ended up devouring that book. And then I started on a 30-minute-a-day system where literally I would finish out my workday and I would get my laptop and I would go out to the couch in my family room and put my feet up, and my husband would be watching something. You know, I'm sure I couldn't have done this if I had children, but you know, maybe I could have closeted myself for 30 minutes. But I just tuned him out, whatever thing he was watching. And I worked on it for a minimum of 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And within, I think it was 90 days, I had a complete, well, it was a book to begin with, like a training book, but I fleshed it out into a course. But the thing is, we have to get started. So do yourself a favor. If nothing else, get some sections put on the calendar so that you can start moving towards making it a reality. You don't want to die with that gift inside of you. And I'm not trying to be morose, but how often do we hear about situations like that where somebody just never gets around to it? I wish I would have. Those are words I never want to hear. So, all right. Chat, my dead chat, who has something they're trying to get finished by the end of the year that's been weighing on you for a while, or you just so want to bring it to fruition? Give me maybe a hashtag me or a hashtag yes, so I know you're going to take some action. All right, 9, update your client agreement. So in CDI, we've got hundreds of years of collective wisdom that we apply from our members to tweak our sample client contracts regularly. So whether you've got access to those amazing templates or not, you need to make sure you review your client agreement each year. Were there challenges like no-shows where you repeatedly waited and lost time or money? Did clients miss deadlines? Did you have to rush around at the last minute to get approval to use fictionalized resumes in competitions or book submissions? Whatever it is, spend some time now to make sure your agreement is representing you and protecting you to the best of its ability now. It will help you keep next steps clear and avoid confusion, frustration, chargebacks, lost time, and disappointments moving forward with your clients. So this is, to me, this is a biggie. Look at it each year because things change and we learn those lessons we talked about in number 1. So for the chat, what's been your most important addition to your client agreement over the years? Or what do you like most about CDIs if you're using one of ours? Okay, still nothing in the chat. Let's go to number 10, our final one for today. And this is connecting with your colleagues. So as we discussed in my former show on the number 2 highest ROI way that career industry pros are growing their businesses through partnerships and professional referrals, it is so valuable to build connections with colleagues. So a few of my guests shared last week that some of them are even teamed up to write a book together, which is an awesome opportunity. And in CDI, we've got a number of ways members can connect. And hey, if you're not a CDI member, you can still join our Facebook community. We do so much in there to boost connection. There's a daily prompt email. There's a daily prompt post at noon Eastern each day asking you a question so that you can get accountability, support, feedback, advice, share your target clients and audiences and services. So it's just a great way to start learning who can help you and who you can help. And then for members, you've got the included live events, which always have at least one-to-one breakout in each session. If you're in our Inner Circle Career Industry Accelerator Club, you've got added opportunities there for lots of connecting. And there's also specialty lists you can join, the directory to search, volunteer roles, lots of ways to connect. But, entrepreneurship can be incredibly isolating, and having connections is fun, and it's all so valuable because, again, partnerships, referring services, supporting each other on social media, in a pod. We talked today in the Career Industry Accelerator Club about partnering together to practice your live group program that you want to introduce so you can cut down on your one-to-one ceiling of hours available. So having partnerships with colleagues, having friendships with colleagues can just change the game for you. You go from being all alone to being part of a supportive community, which is what we try to do in CDI, and then hope you will build your micro communities. So, hey, I even had a private client refer an AI tool to me yesterday that I wouldn't have known about if I weren't connecting with my members and finding opportunities. Also, connect with me. Members who are in our current Nurture series, when there's a PS, tell me, or there's a question, answer it. I love to get to know our members because that makes me aware of what your needs are and who I might refer you to as well, because job seekers contact us and sometimes it's really specialized. All right, so hopefully I'll see all of you in the Facebook group, member or not member. However you do it, connect. So let me know in the chat, how do you connect with your colleagues? Whew, what time is it? Wow, I talked so fast, I'm actually ahead of schedule, which is amazing. I don't see any questions or comments, so I will just keep going forward here to finish us out for 2023. So where does this leave us? Hopefully you have a whole lot of ideas, strategies, and opportunities to make your 2024 great. And so here's what you've got to do. 1, make a list of what you want to accomplish. 2, immediately grab your calendar and block out a few afternoons to make it happen. Or if you're somebody who does better with small segments, use that model of 30 minutes or an hour at the start of the day or the end of the day. Often the beginning of the day is the best because we tend to find emergencies and things we have to deal with, and we never get to the all-important planning, strategizing, or celebrating. So again, a gentle reminder, it doesn't have to happen in December. If you want and need time off, we all deserve downtime. But at some point, you'll want to have time for some of these critical actions, as it's so important to review each of these at least once a year. And when you do, you'll be on the path to greater success and fulfillment. I am super excited for 2024 and what it's going to mean for all of us. A fresh new start, even though it's just turning a day on the calendar. So, what's coming next? Next Wednesday, the 27th, we are taking a holiday break from the show. The current plan is to resume on Wednesday, January 3rd at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm really excited about my topic. I'm going to be sharing profiles of six-figure career service businesses. So this will be our last pull from the Critical Industry Analysis Survey of what's working and what's not in career service industry businesses. So we will actually be looking at, we'll have two buckets. We'll have resume writers and career coaches that are grossing $100,000 to $199,000 a year, and we'll have a bucket of those who are grossing $200,000 to $600,000 a year in annual revenue. We'll be looking at what they're doing in different areas like social media, referrals, whatnot. So I'm very excited to drop that information on you and hope my team gets all those charts ready to go. And I'm not looking forward to charts. I think there's like 10 charts. But anyway, let me close this out. So again, I don't want you to miss when we go live every week except next week. So be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for notifications. And mark your calendar starting on January 3rd for Wednesday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more help and support, we have got you covered. Let me throw up a different design on the screen here. So let me get rid of that caption. Okay, so CDI membership is currently closed. You can't register, but you can get on the waiting list. In the meantime, you can check out all our free resources, really valuable. You just go over to careerdirectors.com, click on the free stuff button in our navigation, and there you will have the opportunity to join that Facebook community I have been talking about. You'll be able to access a whole ton of deep dive sample lessons and resources, and there is a ridiculous amount of them there. We actually have a current member who has a testimonial on the page who talks about how he built a six-figure business with the free resources and then chose to join. And we've got another testimonial from him somewhere where he talks about how he's continuing to grow his business in Nigeria past the 100K mark. Now, because there are so many lessons, we have this great quiz. It will take you 1 to 5 minutes to complete, but when you finish that quiz, it's going to tell you what your number one blocker is to a six-figure business as a resume writer and or career coach. But more importantly, it's going to direct you to where in those resources you should start to get the biggest ROI for your time spent. I can't say bang for your buck because it's all free. So again, go over to careerdirectors.com and click on free stuff, or careerdirectors.com/free stuff. And you will find all of that there. Now, for my CDI members, I always promise there's going to be a bonus AI prompt, and I do have one for you this week. So I have stayed on topic with today, and I've created one to help you build your 2024 content calendar for social media posts and or blogging. So I will be linking to that and all the other related member lessons. I think at last point I checked, there were like 45, such as the blogging strategy and the editorial calendar and the what to do if they, don't commit today video. Anyway, if you're not currently a member, again, registration is currently closed, but be sure to add yourself to the waiting list on our join page so you can be notified when it opens back up. Until then, our certifications and courses are open to non-members, and there is an option to join that way so you can take advantage of the 25% off bundled discount. So I thank you all for being my guest today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And I'm wishing you very happy holidays or time off. I recognize not everybody celebrates or celebrates at the same time, but we all can have 2024 rolling in on the same day of January 1st. And I know when you take some of these steps, it is going to be a powerful and amazing new year. So until we meet again, let's fly higher. I'll see you on the other side.